Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the How to Decorate podcast from Ballard Designs. I'm Liz, and I'm thrilled to be wrapping up our special 3-part Holiday Throwback series, where we pick our favorite holiday-themed episodes. If you missed the last two, be sure to check out Caroline's pick, episode 117, with Janie Molster, all about dazzling tree decorating, and Taryn's pick, episode 388, where we dished on all things holiday hosting. For my choice in this final part of the series, I couldn't resist revisiting episode 386 with the one and only Carson Kressley. Carson is so much fun, and his approach to entertaining and the holidays is just infectious. I chose this episode because he truly embodies the spirit of lavish yet achievable holiday cheer. What I learned and what I think you'll take away is that holiday decorating and hosting doesn't have to be overwhelming. This conversation with Carson changed the way that I think about hosting. It helped me find small ways to set up with ease and take the pressure off myself while creating engaging moments with my family and friends. Carson shares his brilliant strategy of turning tree trimming into a fun party that gets everyone involved, and how to personalize your decor so that it enhances rather than overhauls your existing home. He also gives us amazing insights and everything from prepping a flawless guest room to making holiday meals manageable, and even his secret weapon for party food. His passions for entertaining, decorating, and creating beautiful, memory-filled experiences without stress is truly inspiring. Get ready to be charmed and informed, because here's our conversation with the delightful Carson Kressley.
All right, our guest today is one of our absolute favorites. He's a style icon. He's a TV personality and actor, an interior design lover. You know him from the original Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, as well as RuPaul's Drag Race, Get a Room with Carson and Tom, and many, many more. Carson Kressley, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. You know I love all things Ballard, so I'm thrilled to be here.
You've got me all tongue-tied. I'm so happy for you to chat and catch up with you and share all of your holiday decorating must-haves with our listeners.
I'm thrilled to be here.
I was listening back to our last podcast together, which was summer of 2023. And in the episode, we were kind of talking about what a great host you are and all of the hosting you do at your farm in Pennsylvania. And on the show, you mentioned your Christmas party at your apartment in New York. And I just thought we have to have him back and talk all about Christmas, how you host, what your must-haves are, how you decorate your New York place, how you decorate your farm, all that good stuff. So that's what we're here to do.
Yay. Well, ho, ho, ho. I'm all for it. I love the holidays. And I can't wait to share what I think are maybe some fun, hosting tips and certainly my traditions, because I have always loved Christmas ever since I was a little kid. So I'm thrilled to dive right in.
As I mentioned in the last one, you talked about your Christmas party. So why don't we start there and we can just talk about hosting. We could also talk a little bit about, maybe we should actually, you know what? Maybe we should start with Thanksgiving, since that will, and then get into Christmas, since,
see how it all flows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what do you like to do for Thanksgiving?
Okay, so Thanksgiving for me is the kickoff to the holiday season. So I'm all about like pumpkins and gourds and everything, from Halloween. At the farm, I have a gate, and I buy like literally half a truckload of pumpkins, and I just kind of do mounds of them by the gate. And it looks super welcoming and very harvesty. And although I don't have a cornucopia, literally I do have a cornucopia of different like gourds and pumpkins and the artisanal ones that are antique and French and, look like Cinderella's carriage. I have those. And that, I think, segues beautifully into Thanksgiving. Like, I am not a person who puts up holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's decor before Thanksgiving is over. I like to do the whole fall thing. Salute to the pilgrims, Indian corn, like very traditional. And then I usually have people over to my farm for Thanksgiving, and I do a bit of a Friendsgiving. I usually do like dinner at my mom's house with my family in the evening and lunchtime at my own farm with a lot of friends from New York City. So I do a lot of eating that day. I get 2 gigantic meals, And to make things more complicated, I usually host the Philadelphia Thanksgiving Day Parade on ABC that morning as well. So
Oh,
I
wow.
I greet guests on Wednesday night. I make a bunch of stuff in advance. And then I say, okay, I'm not going to see you in the morning. I'm going to be on my way to Philly. I do the parade. I come home, pop everything in the oven except the turkey, which my friends do first. And then we have a great Thanksgiving lunch. Then I do a Thanksgiving dinner. And then here is my entertaining secret weapon pro tip. The day after Thanksgiving, on Black Friday when everybody's out shopping, I don't do that. I wait and I do my Cyber Monday. But on Friday, I have all of my guests. That evening, we make leftovers. Maybe it's turkey chili. Or fresh carved turkey sandwiches, and we do a tree trimming party. And I'll bust out some homemade eggnog, get the holiday tunes going, bring all the decor down from the attic myself. So I'm not asking too much of them. And then we start trimming the tree. And it's such a great way to talk about all the memories of each ornament. I like to collect an ornament when I travel. So I have like a little Bermuda house, and I have the Sydney Opera House, and I have a double-decker bus from London. Everywhere I go, I get an ornament. So there's great conversation about, oh, where did you get this one, and what trip was this from? And by the end of the party, by the end of the evening, all of my many Christmas trees that I have at the farm are decorated. And then you have some helpers to get the things back up to the attic. And voila, Friday after Thanksgiving, you are ready for your holiday season.
So by Thanksgiving, you've already bought your tree and that's up? Or
Yeah,
how are you pulling this all off? This is
Yeah, and all the lights too. And wait, when do you cook all your food if you're hosting the parade? Hold on.
I cook the food. All good questions. Inquiring minds want to know. I cook the food the night before, so I'll make like a corn casserole. I'll make Pennsylvania Dutch potato filling. I'll make basically everything but the turkey the night before, and it's all ready to go in the oven. You have to have a couple ovens. I have one of those countertop convection ovens as well as like a third oven to like help with all of, because everything at Thanksgiving is like a baked thing. It's like a corn casserole or a baked potato thing or sweet potatoes with marshmallows. All those things go in the oven. So I do all the prep the night before, and then the bird goes in the oven early morning, like 6 a.m. And then when I get home, like around noon, I throw everything else in the oven for like an hour. And then around 1 o'clock, we are ready to go. Table is set the night before. You can actually do that a couple days before.
Yeah, that's smart.
And I think any of these big holidays, you can make a timeline and work backwards from it and do as much in advance as possible. And that really makes it go really easily. All these years I've been doing this, I've been hosting that parade for like 10 years. So I have it down to a science now.
That's amazing. So when you have all of your friends into town, do you have the same group every year, or is it sort of like new people, like a rotating kind of cast?
It's usually a cast of regulars, and then a couple, if somebody is traveling or they're stuck in New York or there's some kind of circumstance where they're not going to be able to go home, then they become the rotating guest star for that year.
Fun.
On this very, very special episode of the Love Boat Thanksgiving. And so it's usually like, a very consistent group with a couple new people every year.
So they know the drill. They, your regulars, they like know the system. They know what to expect. They have their own bedroom.
They do. Yeah. The regulars definitely have their own bedroom. I just got the most fabulous for my guest room, actually. This is another good thing to talk about. Like, make sure your guest room is flawless and well appointed and ready to receive guests. It's a great time to like pop through the Ballard catalog. I'm going to be very self-promotional here and get those things like a water carafe, some beautiful throws, have some great reading material in there. I just actually got, and I forgot the name of it, but it's like a wing chair bed from Ballard, and it's done in a window pane linen fabric. And I have it in my guest room. It is so warm and inviting, and people just swoon over it. So, in my week before Thanksgiving, I'm definitely doing a checklist like, are my guest rooms clean, organized? Do they have all the things that a great guest room should have? Are my towels fresh and fluffy? Here's another entertaining tip. I don't keep the towels for all my guest rooms in their respective bathrooms because some are shared bathrooms, are not all ensuite. So I do, my bedrooms are all kind of color coded. There's a blue one, there's a brown one, there's a lavender one, there's a one that kind of is more orange. I do matching towels for each room. So
Yes,
I
so
might
smart.
have blue towels for the blue guest room and pale lavender towels for the lavender room. And those are all in the closets in the room. So when the guests leave, I know where those towels go back to.
Mhm.
Again, it just keeps it really organized.
Yeah, and easy when you're folding laundry to like put everything back because
Yeah, you know
anyone
exactly
can
where it
help. And
goes.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So those are little pro tips I've learned just from hosting for a long time.
Do you do all the same like do you have all queen beds or do you have a mix of different types of, you know
I
what
have
I'm saying? Like
yeah,
twins and a queen or a king?
Yeah, I have two twins in one room, which I think is a great setup because not everybody, sometimes when you have a lot of people, like I'll have 10 people over for Thanksgiving as overnight guests, not everybody wants to sleep together or as a
Mhm.
couple. So it's great to have an option where you have maybe one room that has twin beds. And then I think the other four are all queen. And I'm a big white sheet person. Like,
Mhm.
I know some people like a printed sheet or printed design. Um, I'm kind of, white sheets. Usually it has some kind of hotel bedding border. So, like in the brown room, maybe that has a brown border. In the blue room, maybe it has a little blue
Mhm.
accent stripe at the top of the sheet. But I usually keep it simple and white and crisp and kind of hotel like.
Yeah. Okay, so all right. You back to the Thanksgiving thing. You have set your table a couple days before. Night
Right.
before you are prepping all of the side dishes, prepping the
Yes.
bird. You go host your parade on Thursday morning while your friends put the bird in. You come home,
Yes.
you put in all the sides. Do you do anything for dinner later that evening? Is it just like leftovers and extra cake and coffee? What's the deal there?
Dinner is totally leftovers. It's turkey sandwiches. You have to have great bread on hand for that.
Mm,
And then the rest kind of takes care of itself. Like everybody's so thrilled because it's so many people's favorite meal of the year that
mhm.
they're happy to eat more, stuffing or Brussels sprouts along with their delicious turkey sandwich for their dinner. And there's always oodles of desserts. I'm from a part of Pennsylvania where, although I am not Amish and my family is not Amish, we are Pennsylvania Germans. So
Mhm.
we are very Amish adjacent, and we know our way around a good pie.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of desserts in the house for this whole Thanksgiving extravaganza.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. You're speaking my language.
Mhm.
Pie in any form is
Oh yeah,
good.
pie is the greatest, and it's like I don't know. It's not very present anymore. Like when you go to like a nice restaurant, which I'm lucky enough to do all the time, they're like, the dessert is like a certain creme brulee and a this or that. I'm like, do you just have pie? Can I just get apple pie or chocolate cake? Like I'm that basic, but they're so good. Why
They're
mess with
so good.
perfection?
Oh my
They're
god, there's
so
nothing
good.
better than a really good apple pie that's hot.
Oh,
With
Right,
ice cream.
right,
Gotta
right
have the
about
ice cream.
now, fall
Mhm.
season. Yes, sign me up.
So, all right, you have a big to do for Thanksgiving, and then I'm so impressed that you are fully decorated for Christmas by Saturday of Thanksgiving. What do people like? They like helping you decorate? I mean, that's such a smart
I
idea to employ your
I
village.
Yeah, what a con artist, right? The old bait and switch. Come for a relaxing weekend in the country. And one day we'll be relaxing, and the next day you'll be on a ladder hanging a magnolia swag from my foyer chandelier.
Oh, it's making
No,
memories.
I don't. It is making memories, and I don't make people like put up my decor. I really focus on them helping with the tree trimming,
Okay,
and
got it.
then probably that Saturday or something. That's when I do like the wreaths outside and maybe a little bit of outdoor lighting and getting my gate and my entrance looking good. So I kind of do that over the next couple of days. But
Mhm.
the tree part, I think that's the most daunting because you have all the boxes with the ornaments and the lights. And I used to always get a real tree. Growing up in the suburbs of Allentown, PA, in the 1970s, we always had an artificial tree
Mhm.
from, we had a store in Allentown called Ice City, and they sold pools in the summer and they sold Christmas trees in the winter. So in the 70s, it was very chic to have like a fake tree. My mom had lived through like many fake real trees and didn't want the mess. So she's like, we are getting, a state of the art artificial tree. I hated it. So as soon as I moved to New York and I had my own apartment, I was like, I am getting a real tree. And also in New York, you don't have storage space for an artificial tree. So you are forced to get a real tree. And I remember when they were like $20, and I was like, oh, an extra $20. I really shouldn't be spending this on a tree, in 1991 when I didn't even have money for food. So I always had a real tree there. Then when I moved to the farm and had an extra place and extra storage, I did start to do the artificial tree thing again because there's so many good options now and they really look fantastic. And you don't have to worry about like schlepping out and getting a new one every year. So I can do my Thanksgiving, day celebration and then do my tree trimming right away because all my trees, and I do one, two, three, I do four of them at the farm. They're all just in their little boxes in the attic, or if I'm really lazy, they get like a bed sheet thrown over them and they aren't even disassembled and they come down whole and we zhuzh and fluff the branches and then we start trimming away.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I was worried about that. Like you were saying, you just bring out a tree. I'm like, do you just
Yeah.
have like trees like hanging out in the garage? Like, how early are you getting trees? So that's great to know that they're artificial. They're so
Yes.
quick to put up.
And are they pre-lit?
Some are pre-lit and I do like that, the ease of that. I am just also as a child of the 70s and growing up with string lights where when one bulb went out, the entire set didn't work. I also get a little paranoid about doing the whole pre-lit tree and thinking,
Mhm.
oh gosh, if the tree breaks, what do I do? So some are pre-lit, some are not. Regardless if they're pre-lit or not, I'm always adding more lights because I just want them to be literally loaded with twinkly beautiful light.
Yeah. Sometimes it's really fun to put lights of a different scale too, if you're
Mhm.
adding more lights to your pre-lit tree.
Absolutely. Yeah. If the tree is pre-lit with tiny little, fiber optic, white lights, it's nice to do like a bigger round frosted bulb. I love an old fashioned like 1950s gigantic bulb. If I'm doing colored lights, do colored lights for the base and then add those 1950s larger bulbs around it. I think everything with holiday decor is more is more. Like I love an abundant, luxurious, dripping and sparkly, shiny things kind of Christmas tree.
Do you like a white or a colored light, or do you have some of each just on different trees?
I have some of each. I have a tree in my family room that's much more casual that has all of my travel ornaments. So they're all different colors. So on that tree, I just think it's pretty to have the multicolor. It's very nostalgic and
Mhm.
fun. And that's where I do the base of the multicolor small lights. And then I have some of those bigger 1950s lights. And it looks very nostalgic and homey and sweet. And then in my living room, which is a little more formal, I have a smaller kind of flocked tree that has white lights, and those ornaments are all kind of metallic or clear, like silvers and golds. So each tree kind of has its own vibe based on the room that it's in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, here's a question I always have, because I only have one tree, but anytime I've kind of like wanted to get a second tree, but
Right.
the organization of, how do you organize? Do you have all of your tree, your ornaments and your lights for this tree, like, organized
Yes,
one way, and
separated.
they're
Yeah.
separated, like in your storage?
They're separated by tree, and years ago I got some really great like ornament storage boxes from
Uh-huh.
the Container Store, I think, and they're like uh red and lighter red stripes, and they have a plastic wrap that goes around them. So each tree has all the ornaments for that particular tree in its
Got it.
own box. And then I use the clear kind of under the bed storage boxes for the lights. And
Oh,
those I
smart.
can see, which tree it's for. And then you can also just take like a Sharpie or a magic marker and just write on the box, this
Mhm.
is like family room tree. This is dining room tree, living room tree, whatever. And keep it organized. And then those boxes go to those particular rooms in your
When you
house on that day when you're decorating, and you stay really organized.
Mhm. Do you ever have the urge to mix it up, change it around, or are you like, "I've
Yes.
got it to
Or do
science,
something trendy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I do. I get lucky enough to go to these like the International Gift Show in Atlanta, and there are floors and floors and floors. Guys, if you haven't gone, I'm sure there's a way you can get like a guest pass or something and not even be like a real buyer. I'm not, and I somehow sneak in there all the time. They'd probably hate me for saying that, but the inspiration from these places where you see the hundreds of vendors that make Christmas
Mhm.
ornaments and trees and whatnot, I go to those maybe once a year, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, my tree needs to be 1950s this year. So I do my smaller tree, like I have a little one in my breakfast nook.
Mhm.
That one can be a little trendy because it's not as many ornaments. It's easier to handle. It's like 4 feet tall, maybe. My two big trees in my living room and my family room, those are a big production. I keep
Mhm.
those pretty much the same, but maybe one year I will think I'm going to add like pheasant feathers to some of the branches. So they're always evolving.
Mhm.
When I see something fun out there, or I get inspired from somebody's showroom or a presentation, I will add those little nods to the more established trees that I don't change so much.
Mhm. That's fun. I like the idea of the feathers, just you can kind of, just add that onto whatever layers you've already got, and it kind of has
Yeah,
a whole new vibe without really doing too much different. Mhm.
exactly. Or you might want to put a different ribbon color. One year I get all mad about tartan, so it's just that. And then some years it's more burlappy. Then some years it's like just beautiful satin. I like to weave the ribbon through the branches, add organic material to some of them, like the feathers or baby's breath. There are certain years that have certain trendier items that I will throw in there just because I think it's fun.
What about wreaths? Do you do an artificial wreath, or do you like a real wreath?
I do like a real wreath, and I'm crazy about magnolia wreaths.
Mhm.
Um, and years ago, they never made a good artificial magnolia. I know they do now. I've seen them in the Ballard catalog. They look fantastic. So I'll do some sort of. I've always also felt like a Southerner at heart. I don't know why. I'm from Allentown, Pennsylvania, but I've always loved magnolia, and I loved going on, planning summer vacations with my family, saying, can we go see like historic homes of the South? And my parents are both like, oh, okay, weird child. Yes, we'll take you to, Biltmore House for your ninth birthday. But I do like a good wreath. So I'll do the
Mhm.
magnolia wreath. In New York, I don't have a lot of storage space, and I don't do a lot of holiday decorating. In New York, I have a giant window that overlooks my street, And in that window, I will just do a big magnolia wreath, a fresh one,
Like,
maybe
what are
like
we talking?
30.
What's big? Like 36 inches?
I'd say 36 inches across. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I do just a beautiful, like a brown silk ribbon that's super wide. And I hang that from like the window frame. Doesn't have a bow. It's just the wide piece of brown
Mm-hmm.
silk velvet hanging it. And that's like one of the few pieces of decor that I do in New York, because if I have a party there, my apartment is so small. I have so many people, you can't even really see the decor. So
Mm-hmm.
that great statement piece, like the giant magnolia wreath, and then maybe I'll have some greenery and some swag floating around. And almost everything in New York I do fresh because it's there for the party. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to store it for the next year. It's going to live out the season, and then I'm going to, put that in the composting recycling bin area when I'm done with it. So New York, I keep really simple.
Yeah.
And then other wreaths at the farm, I do the dried boxwood wreaths. Um, I have, another pro tip. You do not have to go out and spend thousands of dollars or hundreds of dollars or $100 on greenery. Most people, if you live in the suburbs or the country, you're going to have some evergreen kind of things growing in your backyard. And I am out there just snipping branches, some holly, some magnolia, some pine, and arranging it on
Mm-hmm.
mantles. And you can't do better than just some fresh greenery. It's just
Yeah.
simple and chic and can be literally free.
We have some magnolia trees in an area of my neighborhood that is not in someone's yard. It's like a no man's land. So I'll, go out there around 7 o'clock and do some trimming and shove that into my artificial garland.
Yes, exactly. And
Zhuzh it up a little bit.
that's a great way, if you have an artificial garland, that's kind of your base for
Hmm.
your mantle, or I do one on my stairway banister. You can always supplement it with real greenery, and it really looks
Hmm.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Like adding in a little bit and then a great ribbon. I mean,
You're
yeah.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's some of those garlands. That's where I'll change it up a little bit.
Hmm.
Like my stairway garland that goes down the banister in my living room. That room is very kind of like has a lot of aqua and pale green. And I have like the antelope, those taupey antelope rugs. So I decided I was going to do like an aqua inspired like garland coming down the stairs. So
Hmm.
I added aqua poinsettias, and they're very like
Mm.
silvery and very 1950s, and aqua ribbon in velvet. And it looks really pretty. And I've never done that before. So sometimes these like trendy little like tryouts become your traditions as well.
Hmm.
So now I'm
Yeah.
going to do that again in that space.
So do you are you like a red and green kind of Christmas fan, or you do mix up the colors every year?
I mix it up, and this is very controversial, but I don't do the same holiday color story throughout my house. I do it
Mm.
based on the room. So, like I said, my more formal living room has a robin's egg blue tufted velvet Chesterfield sofa. So there's a lot of aqua kind of tones in there. So in that room, I just do like the 1950s shiny bright ornaments, which are all kind of very metallic, and
Mhm.
aqua and magenta and silver and gold. And then I do that aqua ribbon down the staircase. So that's a very like non-traditional palette for holiday, but it's still sparkly and festive.
Mhm.
And then my family room is more, it's got warm walnut paneling and it's much more traditional, I guess. So in there, I do like a red and green,
Mhm.
um, very traditional, lots of tartan. In my foyer, I do almost like no color. It's just white lights on two like skinny Christmas trees. And that's very like neutral. And I have a big magnolia wreath hung over a mirror. And that's another great tip.
Pretty.
Wreaths aren't just for doors. Hang them in windows, hang them over your bookcases, hang them over a piece of artwork,
Mhm.
hang them in front of a mirror. I think a wreath is just, so chic and classic, and I try to put them everywhere I can, literally.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing prettier than a great, especially like an antique mirror with a pretty wreath on it and great
Yeah,
bow. I mean,
yeah, you're done. It's actually really simple
mhm.
and can be really cost effective and just have a lot of impact.
Really love the idea of choosing your decor for your room. So you're not rearranging your entire life around this holiday. You're
Yeah,
really
yeah,
crafting the holiday to you. That's really
yeah.
wonderful.
Sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, I've got to change all my plants and my artwork, or some people go a little cuckoo bananas and get all new bedding that's holiday inspired. I don't do that. That would be way too much of an overhaul. So yeah, I kind of tailor my decor to the space as it already exists. And like I said, maybe I'll just go around in every room and add boughs of greenery. That little simple thing of just putting, a magnolia swag above a painting um, can do the trick, and it makes it feel festive and special, but you're not changing out your entire design.
Mhm.
Yeah, and there's so many holiday colors. I mean, blue and white, I think, is a great holiday. Like purple, deep purple is a Christmas
Pinks and
color.
reds.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, mauves.
mhm.
You could do something more Victorian. You could do all of the neutrals and do like a very like prairie farmhousey kind of neutral look. I'm a big believer that the holidays are like every single color.
Mhm. Yeah, and why not pick something that is going to complement what you already have? It's like you would never pick a lipstick that was going to just be red but not match your outfit or not coordinate with your
Right.
outfit. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're going to pick something that goes. So I like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly. It makes it um because the decor can be like over the top also. I feel like if the colors kind of work with the room already,
Mhm.
it's not jarring because you don't want it to be garish, but
Right.
you do want it to be, over the top and festive because that's what the holidays are all about.
And if you, no matter what color it is, if you put some like metallics and some greenery,
Yes,
some garland and a wreath, like it'll look Christmassy. Yeah.
absolutely.
What about
Absolutely.
at Christmas time? Are you typically in Pennsylvania? Are you in New York? And what is your hosting situation?
Yeah, Christmas, I like to hunker down. Usually I'm working like right up until like maybe mid-December. And then when that rolls around, I like to decamp at the farm and tweak all the decor. And then the only like big entertaining I do at the farm is I will have Christmas Eve for like my, immediate family. My sister has a farm next to mine, so it's very easy. Like she makes some of the food. And we do more. We're not Italian by any means. We're like all German and French. But we somehow do an Italian Christmas Eve and lasagna and a little bit of the Feast of the Seven Fishes ish with like a shrimp cocktail, blue cheese, wedge salad. Um, so I will do Christmas Eve, and that is a great time to just, have all the lights twinkling and have. I have a couple fireplaces, and I have one. I'm so fortunate. I have one in one of my dining areas in my breakfast room and because there's only like 6 or 8 of us, we'll have it in there. And I have a fire going and it's, the wood is crackling and you're having some
Oh my
nice,
gosh, how
red
dreamy.
wine. And yeah, you can see some pictures on my Instagram. I think I've saved some of those, where you tag the story permanently. I think they're up there. You can see Thanksgiving and I think Christmas Eve. So it's all about keeping it cozy and family focused and I just love the farm at the holidays. And
Mhm.
sometimes, we'll get a little snow and it's just quite Currier and Ives and very idyllic.
Sounds magical.
You know what I love about the idea of a Thanksgiving or a Christmas Eve lasagna is as much as a pain in the neck the lasagna is, at least you can make it even 2 weeks in advance and put it in the
Yeah.
freezer and just
Yeah, totally.
bake it. And it's not, you know,
Yeah, for those of us who are not, um, even though I do some things with the Food Network, I am not a food maker. I'm a food eater. So any of these holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, whatever, baby showers, any kind of entertaining you can do where it's kind of a one pot superstar like lasagna that
Mhm.
can be made ahead of time, you're going to thank yourself, because then you're not preparing food while people are there and you're supposed to be hosting and handing out
Mhm.
glasses of wine. So,
Are you a good multitasker? Do you like people to be in your kitchen when you're cooking, or are you more of like you can, focus if
I'm
you're
Yeah, I'm very bossy naturally. And if people are in my kitchen and they're moving things, they're saying, "Where's the spoon for the?" I'm just like, "I've got it." So I try to, have people run interference and keep them away until everything is ready, and then I pop in and say, "Hey, do you need a wine? Oh, here's here's some more spiced nuts, and then when dinner is served, I will see you." So I'm probably not a great hostess in that way, because you're supposed to have everybody pitching in and helping, but I just like it to be perfect. So I just do it my way.
Now, what about your bar? Do you have just wine or do you do a signature cocktail for the holidays?
Yeah. I'm really lucky because when I bought my house in Pennsylvania, just in from the foyer, so you like enter a foyer, and then the next doorway you go through, there is an actual full on bar, like with bar stools. I have they're like a natural, like wicker bar stool. They're actually from Ballard. I have 4 bar stools there. It has a big, kind of a marble slab. It has under bar lighting. I have a beautiful lamp on the bar. I have an old, big giant brandy snifter full of um, antique matches from restaurants in the area from like the 70s. It's giving Regal Beagle
I love it.
from
Three's
Three's
Company.
Company vibes, and it's great because and I didn't design this house, but the architect who did it was really smart, because you come into the foyer, get rid of your coats, say hello, and then the next moment that you experience is an actual bar. It has a little room behind it with a full on freezer and refrigerator, wine fridge.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
yeah, it's a dream. It makes entertaining so easy. So if I'm having a party, I will have a bartender there. Every Christmas, I forgot, I also have this one thing that I do. My mom is 86 years old, and her friends were never getting together except for sad things like funerals or, awful things. So I was like, now that I have a big house in the country that's perfect for entertaining, I do a little holiday brunch for her and her friends.
Oh my gosh, that's
Usually,
so adorable. I love that
you,
idea.
yeah, usually the first like Saturday in December. It's not super cold. Hopefully the weather's decent. I get a valet car parker person, so the little old ladies don't have to park their car. And then we do like it's an afternoon. It's like from 1 to 4, and I'll do like a tea, and it's finger sandwiches and um, little sweet treats and holiday cookies. And none of them like to drink, but we'll have like they do like a little bit of Merlot, so we'll have some wine. And for that, I do have a bartender. I have one of my favorite, wait staff people at my a restaurant that I go to. She volunteers and comes over. She doesn't volunteer, but she comes over and she is my bartender. So I have a big bar. I have everything in there, and people can just order up whatever they want.
That
So
is such a good
I'm not a
idea.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I just if you're gonna have a holiday party, like a big party with like 25 or 30 people or more, I always say, if you have a favorite wait person at your favorite restaurant, like whatever it is, most of them during the holidays, a Saturday afternoon, they're not working. They would love to come
Mhm.
and get some extra cash in their pocket, and they can help make drinks and they can help clean and kind of keep your house organized and tidy while the party's going on, so you can flit around and be
Yeah,
the
that's smart.
hostess with the mostess. So it's well worth it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's smart. Especially because when you are hosting, I mean, I think we all want to be able to like go refill the ice bucket or,
Right.
get another pack of tonic or whatever, but there's just so many things to do and so many people to talk to that you probably aren't able to
Yes.
be
Right.
as, observant as you
Yeah,
like to be.
it's great to have that extra person. I also like if it's a lot of people, I'll have um just a local like friend of the family, like a teenager, I'll have them be like coat check. And they're there to greet people at the door. Can I take your coat? And that keeps things really organized as well.
Hmm.
So one or two little extra sets of hands is so worthwhile.
Yeah. I think last time when we spoke last summer, you were talking about having the little rolly cart for coats for your Christmas party. And that's such a smart
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, yeah.
And you can usually get those and like take them apart. So you could always just keep it
Yes.
in a closet or something, put it together for
It,
your party.
they go under the bed and they're
Hmm.
great. Just the little collapsible rolling racks are great for party coats. I have them at the farm. They're even great for if I'm going on a big trip. Say I'm going on a cruise for like a week, or if I'm filming a show, I'll use those rolling racks to like just put all of my outfits on for
Oh,
the
that's
trip,
smart.
and I
Oh, that's
pack
great.
day by day. And when you see them, it goes back to my stylist days where like I just have all the looks, and I'll literally like Polaroid the looks and have a look number, and they can go in a bag. I
Smart.
really,
You do that for
yeah,
packing?
I'm a very lonely, sad person, you guys.
It
I
sounds
do that.
genius to me.
Totally.
I do that for important trips. Like if I'm shooting a TV show, like Barbecue Brawl, we make in Austin, Texas
Hmm.
every year. I do not live in Austin, Texas, so I have to bring everything with me. I bring my own wardrobe. And that I will actually like do the complete look, put everything, in three hangers and put that in a garment bag and be like, this is look one for day one. And then I have a unique outfit for every episode. I'm not forgetting the belt or the shoes or the socks or the underwear. It just all
Hmm.
goes in the bag.
Um, when you do that and you're taking the Polaroid, is it like a Polaroid of you in it, or is it like laid out, all
No,
styled on the bed or something?
it's laid out on a checkerboard tile floor. Yeah, in like a bathroom.
I like that.
Just
I love
just
that
because
idea for
that's the way I do it.
yeah, but even for a trip, especially if you're trying to fit everything into
Yeah.
like a small bag or a carry-on, it
Yeah.
helps you kind of either say, okay, I can repeat this. I don't know. It helps you
Yes.
plan and not overpack.
Also, when you use the rolling rack and you see all the looks together, you can see what's going to work with other outfits. Like
Mhm.
just seeing the whole landscape of everything and knowing every day what you're doing. It's really helpful because overpacking is what causes you to have like overweight luggage and too many things. So if
Mhm.
you have it all laid out for the whole trip and you can see every piece, you're not going to duplicate as much.
It's like a design board, but for your
It is.
yeah.
But for your
It is
trip,
for
I love that.
for your week or wherever, how many
Yeah.
days you're going away.
I'm going to copy that because I do like to have a Christmas party, and the coat thing is a problem because people don't, they're always like, where do I put the coat? But then where do I hang
Right.
my bag? You don't want to carry your bag. So yeah.
Yeah. And in New York, the way I entertain in New York versus the way I entertain at the farm is so different. In New York, I have the rolling racks. They're out in my hallway, much
We
to the
won't tell the
chagrin of.
fire marshal.
No, I know, much to the chagrin of my building, but no one needs to know. And I invite all my neighbors so um, they don't turn me in. And I don't have the space in my apartment, so I do rolling racks out there. And nobody has room in their closets. Like even if you
Right.
have a coat
Right.
closet in your foyer, mine's full of my own coats. Like I am a coat fanatic and I have like 85 coats and they're like in my front hallway. So
Yeah.
I still have to do the rolling rack and put it like in the laundry room.
And I don't want people opening my closet. I don't want you to see that mess,
No, I know. I try to keep mine pretty organized, but at holiday time, there's a lot of things just shoved in there. So you could have a
Mhm.
closet avalanche very easily.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Will you tell everyone in case they have not heard, because like I mentioned, I went back and listened to our episode from last time. You were talking about the menu for your Christmas party. And so I wanted you to tell everyone about that here in case they didn't hear that episode.
Yeah, in New York, again, smaller space, not quite as many people, although I've had probably 100 or 150 people in my New York apartment at one time. It is a one bedroom. They were, jammed in there, but it's so fun and so festive. For that party, I do a buffet. Um, I order chicken tenders from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I do like a catering order. I get like 100 pieces. I put them on a silver platter, like an antique horse show platter from like the New Orleans horse show from 1951. And I stack them beautifully. I make a homemade champagne mustard dipping sauce, which the chicken tenders from KFC are so freaking delicious. People go
You
mad
cannot beat
over them. And then you have like a delicious, like really high-end dipping mustard. People go bonkers. They love it. And then maybe I'll do like a country ham, like a pre-sliced spiral ham and a bunch of biscuits. And I do a very Southern kind of thing. And also people in New York are like, what are these ham and biscuit things? I'm like, that is a Kentucky staple. And then I'll do like crudité, some cheeses and different crackers and dips. And you're basically done. Like it can be really, really simple. And then people can just, help themselves. And again, even in New York, I do invest in a bartender. That's really important. For a New York City party, I'll usually have a picture of a signature cocktail. Maybe it's some kind of like, mistletoe martini and it's, red and it's made with like some special ingredients that make it holiday. And then I'll still have like a full bar. With just the basics. Like I don't have any like, blue curacao or whatever, but I have,
Right.
all the classic, gin, vodka, rum, whatever.
And like the mixers, the easy mixers. Yeah.
Yeah. And the easy mixers for sure.
I loved the idea of the chicken fingers because, I mean, who does not go to a spread that has chicken fingers and not want one? I mean,
they're just so good. I think parties are the time to serve things that people like to eat.
Right.
So I am not like, I don't get fancy with it. Like, who doesn't love a Swedish meatball out of a crock pot? Like they're so warm and yummy and delicious. So things like that, party classics, pigs in a blanket, those types of things. I serve them and people love them.
But that personal twist of like the homemade dipping sauce.
And on the silver platter.
Perfect. And the silver platter.
Yeah, it's presentation. It's having the right kind of accessories. And you just want it to be delicious. And I think if you do like those homemade sauces, that makes the difference.
What about glassware? Do you use a real wine glass? Do you use a plastic cup? What do you do for glassware? Because that's trickier, I think, than a plate.
It is, yeah. What I do is there's a company called American Stationery, and they do frosted plastic cups. And I know they're plastic, and I know that's bad, so don't judge. And then I get them monogrammed with either my monogram, like in New York, it'll have a CLK, it'll be in a diamond pattern, it'll be hunter green on a frosted cup. And everything goes in there, wine, cocktails, whatever. But then everybody's holding the same cup. I am a person who washes their plastic throwaway cups and I reuse them again because I'm guilty. And I also just feel like, why not? I mean, I hate throwing things away. So if I have barbecues at the farm in the summer, it says Fox Hill Farm, like 4th of July, I get those custom printed cups again.
But you reuse them for each party. That's smart.
And I do reuse them. When I have those little tea parties for my mom and her friends, I get her monogram, and like the very frilly, 1970s on a sweater kind of monogram. So that's my trick. And then I get cocktail napkins that have the same monogram or have Fox Hill Farm and a little fox head. And I order those in advance, but I usually have a lot of leftovers and I almost always have extras on hand. So those custom tricks, like the monogram napkins and the monogram cups, just make your party feel really thoughtful and cohesive. And I think people really think it's cool and think, wow, this is great. You really thought of everything. And they feel taken care of, which is what hospitality is all about.
Yeah. You are such a wonderful host. And I love getting to hear your system, and I feel like it's a good reminder to people like you have been doing it for a long time, and therefore each year you can kind of iterate and make it better and you get more comfortable. So it's just like have people over. Like don't worry so much in the beginning. Just start having people over and then you can build your arsenal.
And you build kind of like your framework and you make it foolproof. And then you can just focus on having fun. And I think the thing that trips people up a lot is they think it needs to be fancy. And people just love simple, delicious things like pigs in a blanket and a monogrammed cup and a delicious homemade eggnog. Like you don't need a million choices. You don't need it to be like really elaborate. Simple and delicious and simple and good looking, in your design is always going to be appreciated by your guests. And the thing that they're going to remember is like how much fun they had at the party, how yummy the food was, how pretty your tree was. Those things all make for a great event.
Well, I am so inspired now to host a Christmas party and get ready to decorate. I always find it's hard kind of this time of year to it feels very daunting a little bit going into Christmas. So feeling much better about it now.
Yeah, there's so much to do. And I was a chronic overdoer. I would have 85 things to eat and half of it would, not be even touched. And I would decorate every single surface. Now it's about strategy and you have 5 or 6 really delicious things and you have 1 or 2 moments in your home that are gloriously decorated. It doesn't need to be really elaborate. You just need a couple of those great ingredients. And the more you do it, the better you will become at hosting and the easier it becomes. And it just kind of becomes second nature. And it's kind of like how I think our parents entertained. They would crack open a can of, Virginia cocktail peanuts and make whiskey sours. It doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah. And people just want to get together. So, I think the host, you're going to put a lot of pressure on yourself for it to be perfect, but your guests are not at all putting that pressure on you. They're happy to be included, happy to come and bring wine, and they don't, they're not judging your, what you haven't done.
Well, I am, but no, I agree with you. I think everybody's there to just have a great time. And when people laugh and enjoy good food and good drink and good company, that's all they're concerned about.
Hi, team. I'm a longtime listener from Gothenburg, Sweden. Hope I said that right. Thank you, Liz, for that. A little bit of a dilemma that I hope that you brilliant ladies and Carson can help me with. The problem I have is with windowsills. What to put on them, how to make the windows look gorgeous, stylish, and nice. Pictures in magazines and on sites usually cut off by the windows or the windows are huge and missing windowsills. I have regular size windows with a regular size windowsill in a small house with no special features. I want to know how to decorate with plants and lamps and what else one can have on the windowsills. Not the curtains. I'm not too fond of empty windowsills, but I am doing something wrong because my curtains feel meh. I have included some pictures from my home, but I have this as a generic problem. So are there any guidelines to follow? When there's a patio door next to a window, when there's a sofa in front of the window, when there's a work table in front of the window, when there are a lot of plants, do you have some ideas on how to make windows look good and stylish? What am I missing and doing wrong? And how do I move from meh to gorgeous? I don't really care about people looking in and I never draw the curtain, so privacy is not an issue. But during the winter, the outside is black from 4 to 5 p.m. and 8 to 9 a.m. So basically all the time we're at home, the windows are dark, and so lamps are a bit of a must. Please help. I would love your input. Any specific products you can suggest would be highly appreciated. And I can drool on your website and then I need to look elsewhere for alternatives in Sweden. Sorry about that, Pia. Carson, do you need me to pull up?
Yeah, could I see the photo?
Yes.
If this will.
And it looks like she has radiators underneath a lot of her windows, and then she's got shelves over the radiators. So she's looking to really figure out how to decorate those spaces.
Yeah, it's a common thing too, like in older like Pennsylvania farmhouses, they'll have very deep windowsills. People want to put things on there, or the radiators right in front of the window with like a case over it that looks almost like a piece of furniture. You're thinking like, what do I put here?
Right. Or a console, if someone had a console in front of their
Right.
window.
She's got a beautiful taste. She has these
Yeah.
fabulous wallpapers. Yeah, so she has the radiators in front of the windows, and she's sort of added some little accessories onto a ledge that looks like it's mounted above the radiator.
Right.
So, I mean, what are your initial thoughts?
I mean, my initial thoughts are she's doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, which is, your go to, if you have a deep windowsill, if you have an older house with thick walls and has those inset windows, it is a great place to, put like a marble slab and put several different potted plants in gorgeous containers because,
Mm-hmm.
the go-to is a plant in the window. It's the best scenario for everything. And it makes sense. I also like how she has a small lamp there.
Mm-hmm.
That's really charming from inside and also from the outside. Like seeing that lamp in the window is like a old fashioned symbol of hospitality. So at my farm, I have a couple different, window setups where I have little lamps, or maybe I have a pharmacist's kind of like stand lamp in the window. So I think she's doing it right. I think you have to be careful with decorative items in front of a window because they will fade tremendously. So
Mm-hmm.
if you did, like coffee table books, um,
Mm-hmm.
or decorative boxes, those things can fade. So I think, the beautiful porcelain pots with gorgeous plants in them is certainly a great go to. Also, I was thinking you can also kind of make the window the superstar. And I see
Mm-hmm.
these windows are, just basic, they're casement windows with white frames, but
Mm-hmm.
in this particular room that we're looking at, which has a green floral wallpaper all over, even on the ceiling, wouldn't it be fabulous to do a little bit of a different green, a shade lighter or darker, and
Oh,
lacquer the
pretty.
window frames, and make the window frame the actual star? Because I know she lives in Sweden. Where älske är Sverige. I did one season of Sweden's Next Top Model and I learned how to say that. That means we love you, Sweden. But they don't get a lot of light, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
winter. So you want to keep your windows kind of open and bare. Why not paint those window frames in a
Yeah.
beautiful lacquer and maybe ditch the curtain panels and make the frame the star and kind of highlight that architecture. And then just keep the actual window sill scape simple with two or three beautiful plants in gorgeous containers.
Yeah, Pia, I think you're doing a much better job than you think you're doing. I mean, this particular one where she's got these little sort of like miniature busts and she's got all white pots, and then she's got one with these sort of great like funky white candlesticks. I mean, I think she's doing it right. Like she's got levels, she's got different shapes. I mean, I love all of your ideas about I love the idea of painting some of the windowsills, especially in that wallpapered room. That would be so pretty.
Yeah.
And
All
certainly the fading thing is something to consider.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking too, I know you want to have a lot of light, and the panels going up to the top of the ceiling are exactly what you should be doing.
Hmm.
But if you wanted to change up the aesthetic a little bit and maybe make it a little bit more modern, I would even think about doing cafe curtains on,
Hmm.
a slim black rod and slim, kind of matte black rings to hold the cafe curtains. And that gives you just a beautiful backdrop for some of those vignettes she's creating on the windowsill in
Hmm.
front. And then they can easily be opened up when you need more light. But when you don't, you have kind of a nice, beautiful textile backdrop to the vignettes in the windowsill, if that makes sense.
Hmm. I do love how she's kind of gone monochromatic with the items.
Right.
Like It's very sculptural, which I think keeps it from looking like cluttered. It feels...
Yeah, it could. I think if they were all different colors, it would look like a lot of tchotchkes.
Mhm.
And I love tchotchkes, but you've got to keep them organized either on a tray or uniform in color, like she's doing here. So again, yeah, I think you're doing better than you realize, because you're creating some really cohesive vignettes that make sense and look pretty.
Mhm. I mean, I always think that in terms of styling, it's about texture, shape, and height. So if you've got different heights, you've got some round, you've got some square, you've got, different textures all combined together, and you've got some negative space, like that's you just sort of play with those four until you see, you kind of hit the right, like,
Yeah, the right
formula.
Right.
Yeah, the right balance.
Yeah. It feels like this particular picture where that kind of illustration little model is there, the little human figure. I would even put, a stack of 3 vintage books that you don't care about getting faded from a flea market, just to give that a little bit more interest and create some different levels. But I think she's doing a great job.
Yeah. And thank you for listening all the way from Sweden. That's amazing.
I know, that's incredible. I love that.
She has great taste. I love all that she's done in each of these rooms, especially this wallpapered room you mentioned with
Yes.
she's wallpapered the ceiling and the walls because it's sort of vaulted. Very charming.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Well, thank you for listening, Pia. We appreciate it. And thanks for writing in.
Yes.
And thank you, Carson.
And I'll say it again. Wir älskar Sverige, Pia. That means we love you, Sweden.
Hopefully that's what that means.
Yes, it's been a while.
Well, Carson, thank you so much. You know what? Actually, can you tell everybody what you're up to? What sort of projects are you working on that we can check out?
Well, hopefully we will do another season of Barbecue Brawl. It airs every summer on the Food Network, and my pal Bobby Flay is kind of at the helm, and I get to be one of the judges and the little kind of host on that. RuPaul's Drag Race, we are entering, I believe our 17th season is going into production, which is insane. And that usually airs, right after the holidays. So like when you're looking for your new show to get into in January or February.
Hibernate.
Check out RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV. And gosh, I think that's it. But you can always check on my Instagram. I'm much more of an Instagram person than I am Twitter or X or whatever it's called, and or Facebook. But you can find me on all those platforms. But I really, you can see exactly where I'm going to be and what I'm doing on my Instagram. Right now, I'm hosting a show on the Strip in Las Vegas for a couple of weeks at the Flamingo Hotel. So that's RuPaul's Drag Race live. It's super fun.
Amazing.
And I get to, live out my Donny Osmond fantasy and, host a show in a Vegas showroom with round tufted velvet booths, and it's really fun.
Fabulous.
And and who knows? And we didn't talk about it, but I love flea marketing and thrifting. So you might see me at a place like Scott's in Atlanta, or I adore going to Round Top, Texas in the spring and the fall for their big giant antique markets. So I get around. So follow me on social media and you can see exactly where I'll be and what I'm doing.
Amazing. Well, thank you for, of course, joining us. And we would love to have you back anytime because we're big fans. So
I'm a big fan of you guys, and I would love to come back anytime you want me. You just say the word.
Will do.
What a treat it was to listen to that conversation with Carson. His energy and passion for all things holiday are just so fun. His tips for holiday decorating and hosting remind me that throwing a party doesn't have to be overwhelming. Like his genius tip for making decor work with your existing room and choosing colors with themes that complement what you already have, or creating those personalized cups for the event, because it's those thoughtful details that show your guests that you care about this special celebration. Personally, I followed his strategy for having a post-Thanksgiving tree trimming party, and it was amazing. It's all about making those beautiful, abundant, and luxurious moments happen without any unnecessary stress. Thank you so much for joining us for this special holiday throwback series. This was the third and final part, and we hope that it brought some festive inspiration and joy. As we head into the thick of the holiday season, from all of us here at How to Decorate Podcast and Ballard Designs, we want to wish you and your family the happiest of holidays.